Welcome back to another chapter of the Founder Diaries. This chapter is all about Google organization. We are going to get into all things productivity. I'm going to show you exactly how I organize my Google Calendar. I'm going to share all of my tips and tricks on how to make your calendar aesthetic and make it feel like a safe space. And I'm going to show you how I block out time to content batch every single week. Listen, I know we're all founders, baby CEOs, creators here, so I know how valuable your time is. So I'm going to get straight into it, starting with my specific calendar method. So what you're about to see in this video is the method that I have been using. It has been life-changing for me, and I believe it can be life-changing for you as well. I talked about this in the last episode of the Founder Diaries, but you really want to make sure that you have productivity hacks that work for you. And the one that is tried and true and works for me is the 4-quarter system. So my specific calendar is all based around the 4-quarter method, and I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like. And then I also want to show you what it looks like bare bones. Like, let's start from scratch. Let's act as if I've not done any of this. So if I'm starting from scratch, the first thing that I'm going to do is break down my day into 4 quarters. I'm going to do morning, midday, afternoon, and night. So right off the bat in your calendar, you want to block those quarters off. I do this specifically Monday through Thursday. Those are the days where my head is down. I'm working there. I'm in my productivity zone. And spoiler alert, I use Fridays to content batch everything. So that's why Friday remains untouched. And basically that's the backbone to my calendar. So if you watched the last episode, slicing my day into 4 quarters makes me have a shift in my mindset that I have 4 different chances to accomplish each one of my goals. Okay, so now that we have done that, that's kind of like the building blocks to your Google Calendar. Let's talk about the next step on how to set up your Google Calendar for productivity optimization. First things first, you want to separate different aspects of your life into different categories and make those calendars. Okay, stay with me through this one. These calendars are not separate calendars. These are kind of just like your labels for aspects of your life that are consistent or repetitive. So personally, I have labels or calendars for things like posting, editing, content brainstorming, traveling, workout. And if you don't know how to create a new calendar, go to the left sidebar under other calendars, click the plus sign, and then create new calendar. You're gonna wanna name it according to the category, like work or social. The next thing that I do is I color code. Your calendar aesthetic should not stress you out. It should feel like a place where you feel hyper organized, focused, and almost like it's soothing rather than stressful or anxiety ridden. The colors that Google chooses for you are absolutely horrid. So here's how you're gonna color code your entire calendar. Go in and go to the left sidebar, hover over any calendar that you've created, and then click on the 3 dots next to it. Choose a color, and boom. You can create any color. You can use a hex code. I will even pop up some of the hex codes that I use. Okay, now that I have all of my calendars color coded, this is where I can start to input my daily tasks. Okay, the next organization hack that I use is I task batch every single day. So you've heard me in the past say that I content batch, but I don't think I've ever talked about task batching. And it is life-changing. If you are an entrepreneur or if you have a lot of things going on, breaking down your days into doing specific things for your business just makes it a lot easier for you. So this is a huge productivity hack and organization hack, and I'm not always perfect with it, but it does really help give me structure. So for example, I really try to use Mondays as my response days. These are the days where I will go in and look at my emails and try to clear my inbox, even though it's almost impossible. I will also go in and respond to as many DMs as I possibly can, as many comments as I possibly can. This is just my dedicated response day. This is where I'm heavy on my responses. Tuesday is my research day. I am someone who just heavily enjoys researching, especially for social media, and I always need to be on trend and on top of things and have my finger on the pulse. I dedicate every Tuesday to looking into all the things that are happening on social media. This is where I do things like Trend Tuesday and kind of gather information for either my course members, my subscribers, or even you guys. Wednesday is my admin day. This is where I take any meetings or I schedule any meetings or I go in and I organize things for the course or I organize things for my business. Thursdays are my appointment days, and I'm a girl. I have a lot of appointments. So this is either doctor appointments, facials, nail appointments. I do try to appointment batch so that I'm not spending my week bouncing all over town. I live in LA. I don't have time to sit in so many hours of traffic, so I'd rather get it all done on one day. So I do try to be conscious of that. And then Friday is my content batching day. So This is a very, very specific day. My Fridays almost look the same every single Friday. It's the only day of the week that looks the same. Saturday is a free-for-all. You need a free day, for your 24-hour reset on Instagram, but also just for your sanity. I choose Saturdays. I like to be with my friends. I like to be with my family. I like to do fun things. Like, I'm a normal human being, so you need to have a break. And then Sunday is my peaceful productivity day. This is where I try to get as many productivity things in without overwhelming myself. I still want Sundays to feel like a slow day for me, so I don't try to overly schedule myself. Now that I've shown you the building blocks of your calendar, how to color code your whole calendar, and how to task batch each week. Now the next thing is to input everything. Input my daily tasks and use those calendars, those mini calendars, as labels. So this is where you'll see me input when I'm posting certain things. And I do like to try to strategically post things when I have the most free time and when I can respond back to my audience. So I will try to do it maybe first thing in the morning or later at night. This is also where you'll see me put calls and meetings in my calendar. And very slowly but surely it starts to add up. And then on Fridays, that's the day where I am content batching from morning to night. I start my mornings doing a content brainstorm. I really allow myself to kind of dig in, do whatever I want, think about whatever I want. It's a really nice and actually peaceful way to start my morning. And then Fridays, I also always post a Friday Q&A on my stories. So that is embedded into my calendar every single week so that I remember to do that. Like, one of my favorite things is connecting with you guys. And I do get asked a lot of lifestyle questions, a lot of link requests and things like that. So Friday's kind of just like an anything goes Q&A, and I do that every single Friday. Then after I've content brainstormed, I go into my content schedule, and then from there, that's when I film content. So I am just dedicated to filming my content from 1 to 4 p.m. And then while I still am on the same page, while I'm in that creative zone, I like to edit as much as I can. It has taken me a long time to get here, but editing content is much easier for me now. I do it much quicker. I know that some people struggle with taking forever editing, and that's okay. That's totally normal. Use that time to get as much as you can done. And if this specific content batching schedule does not work for you, I will pop up one that might. Staying on top of things as a founder, as a CEO, as a creator, as a social media manager, it's the number one tip that I have for not burning out and not feeling like an absolute crazy person every single day. You never want to approach your day like feeling like it's a fire drill, not knowing what's going on, not knowing what tasks you have to manage, not knowing what you're going to post and when you're going to post it. So this strategy and this organization breakdown is exactly what I recommend if you are someone who wants to stay as much on top of everything and also wants to balance everything. You will see in there, I block off times where I go to Pilates, or I block off times where I go to get my hair done. They're not the most productive, but they are important to me, and anything important to me goes into my calendar. When you start to view your calendar as almost like your best friend and almost like your accountability tracker, that's where you start to have a better relationship with organization and with productivity, and it doesn't feel as scary. I am really hoping that seeing this breakdown has helped. And my goal as a founder is to share every single thing that has helped me personally and any single thing that could help you with your business. And this is just a baby peek into my productivity systems and my productivity hacks and the organizational systems that work for me. The next chapter of the Founder Diaries will be dedicated to my desktop computer. I'm going to show you exactly what I do on my desktop computer to really organize my life. So that will be the next thing that we get into. But I would really also love to know if this is helpful and I can go even more in depth, or if there's anything that you want to see in terms of my workflow or just workflow tips in general. So let me know. And as always, I'm just so grateful to have you here. And I love having this platform where I can kind of go into more detail and more depth with you guys. And I'm also loving hearing about your businesses and your brands that you're building in the comments. So please keep that going so that I can continue to connect with you guys. See you this time next week, and it would mean the world to me if you liked and subscribed.